Hello there. Could Germany have won World War I? Listen, the Great War has always fascinated me. Though I am, of course, a fellow World War II enjoyer and love me some tanks, there is something so intensely weird and interesting about the gigantic conflict of the 1910s. I'm also a giant history nerd and love historical realism, so I wanted to experience World War I in as much historical accuracy as I could manage. But it's really hard to get a good World War I game to really experience it on a realistic level, so we've got to turn to mods. The Great War Redux is, apparently, the best World War I mod out there for the wonderful Hearts of Iron 4. I'm going to play as the mighty Germany in Great War Redux, but only use the completely historical divisions and presets that Germany actually used, all based on endless hours of research. I've previously visited the naughtier Germany's historical divisions and had a lot of fun with them, as well as many other countries, so I had the idea to also try it out in World War I. Let me know in the comments if you like this idea of a World War I reboot, and suggest which country I should pick next. And you should also like the video and subscribe for new videos every Friday. Also, don't worry, I'll still be doing the standard World War II historical presets in the future as well. I've got some painful ones coming up soon, so subscribe for that. Alright, so here we are, the mighty Germany in the Central Powers, along with Austria-Hungary, who are just terrible. We have a surprisingly sparse focus tree, but the thing I'm really going to have to pay attention to is my research. Research takes a lot longer in this mod, and I have a lot of things to think about. We won't be able to get tanks until 1917, which is just awful. And they are also the only presets that we can actually play with, because the planes that we get don't have any variety. You can just increase their stats. The mod doesn't have the plane designer yet. Instead, this is going to be all about the historical divisions. And this is what we start with. This is actually remarkably close to the historical 1914 German infantry division. But don't worry, there are some problems with it. We'll get more into this later in the video when we actually hit 1914, but oh my god. I have done so much research and found so many sources, and almost all of them conflict in some way. You'll see. Main thing I do notice though is look at the difference between the soft attack and the defense. Oh god. I hope my people like charging into a wall. I've also got to think about my African territories because, oh yeah, Germany used to have African territories. I wonder why they lost them. Literal first thing I'm going to do is change all my garrisons from military governor to local police force. I want the compliance. We're friendly, we're nice, I promise. Also, I used this very same strategy in my recent Historical America video, but because I'm on civilian economy, building factories just takes too long, so instead I'm going to invest in infrastructure in all of my resource-dense states. It ups construction speed, it gives me more stuff, I think it's a good idea. Let me know in the comments if you think it's dumb though. We're going to invest pretty heavily into infantry equipment, into arty and support equipment, and also a little bit into howitzers. What's that, I hear you ask? There were no howitzers in the infantry division template. Why are you adding them? Oh, don't worry. You'll see. And we're also going to get some recon planes and recon blimps. I love blimps. They're so cool looking. Look at them. They're adorable. Do some simple eco research and just train as many infantry divisions as I can. I'm gonna need so many. I was also really excited to see what kind of events this mod had, and the very first event I get is a king went into an airplane. Wow. Thanks, mod. My general goal right now is to spike world tension as high as possible so that I can finally leave civilian economy. There's only a couple focuses that actually increase it, so for the majority of the time I kind of just have to wait. My main gate is waiting for the Agadir crisis. I don't know what that is, but I know it happens in 1911, so I will wait for then. Oh cool, the Ottomans buy a bunch of my old ships. I'm assuming this will ensure that they join the Central Powers later, so you betcha. Also, I was just about to freak out and worried that I'd put my game to non-historical, but I forgot that Portugal did have a revolution and became a republic. This is just history. This mod is pretty great, but a lot of times the focuses just don't have descriptions, which is a bit sad. Especially because this focus is really good. Look at the bonuses that you get. Like, that's crazy. Divorg. Plus we get new divisions. Landstrom. Look at these bad boys. They're great. Perfect for holding front lines and not doing any kind of pushes. Just literal bodies on the line. Oh, okay. I'm not allowed to train them. Oh, that's weird. I guess I get them later on when the conflict starts? The very first preset we get to play around with is the 1910 torpedo boats. The old name for destroyers. There's like 4 of them. They're pretty similar. They're mostly like mine layers, but there is a little bit of light attack on them, so I'm gonna build them. This is cool. I think these are basically the V1 class torpedo boats that were constructed in like 1911, so I'm gonna go with it. There are sadly no presets for submarines, So I'm going to have to recreate the submarine to the best of my ability. I'm going to base this off of the U-19 submarine. It had 4 torpedo tubes and around 1,000 SHP, so this is it. This is basically the historical submarine that Germany used. Oh, and it looks like the Agadir crisis is starting. I actually get a little bit of time to pick the focus, and I can even advance it at the cost of political power if I don't want to waste the focus time. We're going to pick the historical option to send demands and get some concessions, because this is how international relations worked in the pre-World War II era. One country goes, I want this. And another country goes, nuh-uh, if you get something, I want something. And they both go, fine, here's something in Africa. Look at this, we literally got bits of Africa for nothing. Who needs to fight? Right? Oh god, I completely forgot about all the stuff that happens before 1914. Look at the Italo-Turkish War. I don't think I have to worry about world tension. Might as well make the 1910 battleship, and we get 2 presets, and they're identical. I think this is the Kaiser class battleship, so let's just build them. Also, world tension has finally risen enough that I can leave civilian economy and go straight to partial mobilization. Oh, look at all the factories we have now. It's beautiful. Also means we can fully commit to military factories. Okay. I guess America doesn't like that. They're sending a note of protest. Oh, I guess because I went to partial mobilization. They're looking at me like I'm an aggressor. I just want a better economy, dudes. I mean, saying that, but I am building the very first rigid airship bombers, specifically designed to, like, bomb cities. And again, I can't use a preset because there is none, but I can at least just buff it with my leftover XP. Oh god, not Leo! Ooh, another little alt history possibility. This is the Berlin-Baghdad crisis, one of the actual reasons why World War I started to begin with. I'm assuming I have to offer a compromise to remain historical. I don't want to start any fights before the historical start date. Oh god, speaking of the lead up to World War I is the Balkan War. We can't help or send volunteers at all, we can just watch, but hey, it's cool looking. You know what, since I'm looking in this area, what's going on with Austria-Hungary? Why do they only have 10 military factories and 25 civs? It's 1912. Britain and France each have triple that. What? I'm going to be fighting in a war with this idiot? Austria-Hungary is basically World War II Italy, isn't he? It really saddens me, but I have now run out of manpower for recruiting new divisions, so I am going to have to go to extensive conscription, which the mod actually does make damage your factory output, which is really sad. Oh god, I forgot there was a second Balkan War. God, what nonsense. Coming up on the end of the year, let's get some doctrine. We can get some max planning, which is going to be very important to defeat trenches. And here it is, January 1914. I promised we'd talk about it. It's time to discuss the German Infantry Division of World War I. This is what we start with, and it is pretty much mostly correct. It is a square division, meaning it's constructed of 4 regiments of 3 battalions each, and it even has exactly 72 pieces of artillery, which was the German Infantry Division standard, 72 pieces of artillery. So all historical and correct, right? I don't have anything to do. No, you're wrong, because this is clearly based off of the wonderful YouTube channel Military History Visualized's video, German Infantry Division 1914/18 Visualization. It follows it pretty much exactly, but the thing is that he makes a mistake. He claims that all 72 pieces of artillery were the 7.7cm FK-96NA, a pretty typical German field gun used throughout the entirety of World War I by Germany. However, I have found numerous sources that specifically mention that of the 72 pieces of artillery, 18 of them were not the 7.7cm. No, they were the 10.5cm Feldhaubitze 98/09, meaning that the 18 of the 72 artillery were not light field guns, but they were actually howitzers, which is a thing that exists in Great War Redux, so we could put them in. However, we can't, because it doesn't work out numerically. An artillery battalion is 36, but a howitzer battalion is 24. So if I replace one of the artillery battalions with a howitzer, we actually lose out on 8 pieces of artillery, making it horrendously historically inaccurate. So what do? Well, because of the conflict of sources, and the fact that it would make the artillery amounts in the division ahistorical, I am not going to add a howitzer just yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is replace some of the artillery with a howitzer later on, because that is actually what happened. As the war went on, the Germans started to replace the lighter field guns with more howitzers. Though I can't find precise dates for that, so I'm going to wait until around 1915/16 before I do make the full switch. This is also pretty beneficial for gameplay because the mod developers recently nerfed howitzers, so that regular light artillery is basically just better than howitzers at almost all stages of the game. But don't worry, that's not the only change we're going to be making to this infantry division over the course of the game. Oh no, just wait until 1915 where something horrifying happens. Also, just one final nerd comment. The mod lists the 77mm FK96 as being replaced by the Krupp 75 M1903. That's totally wrong. The German army never used the Krupp 75. Instead, they used the 77 for like the entire war. So this is just like wrong. Come on. I have also set up all of my armies for what I want to do. I have a defensive army to hold on the Rhine with 2 offensive armies that can do the actual pushes. And then I got the same thing for the Eastern Front, 2 armies for offense with 1 for defense that I'm still recruiting for. My hope is that I should just be able to hold on a line with very few divisions and push with like 24 on 1 tile each time. And here's the doctrine that everyone gets. That's the reason why I have to group so many infantry at once. Trench warfare. Look at that, max 20 entrenchment and 50% entrenchment speed. That is painful. But hey, at least the next one is 20% soft attack for artillery. That'll help at least somewhat. Oh, there it is. Franz Ferdinand's been assassinated. Shame. I loved his music. Start cranking out these Landstrom divisions that can hold lines. Oh, and there it is. We're attacking Serbia. You know what that means. Time for us to fight everybody in the world. No UK yet, because I need to Schlieffen plan first. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to be pretty historical. 1 army holding on the western border, 1 army on Luxembourg, and 1 army on Belgium for a massive spearhead right through Belgium. I'm also going to just generally slap into Russia and any open plains tiles. Just try to take something and keep them busy to distract them from not killing my very weak ally, Austria-Hungary. And we're ready now, so we're going to hit the Schlieffen plan, and my hope is that we can just slap into Belgium and Luxembourg and then be in Paris by winter. Right? Right? We are doing some really good stuff on the Russian front, plenty of green bubbles, but we are already in a massive deficit for artillery. That's not good. I have not done the befriend Holland focus, meaning I don't actually have military access through them. That was a mistake. Alright, not surprising, Luxembourg is doomed, and we are just rolling through. The Belgian forces are absolutely crumbling. It's just a question of smuggling as many divisions as possible into this thin front line and seeing how much we can pour into northern France. Oh god, look at the natural forts that France has. Fortress Verdun, 9 levels of forts. I am never going to be able to take that. We also do have a couple things that are sort of trying to push us along. We have before the leaves fall. They want me to have capitulated Paris before winter. I somehow think I'm not going to achieve that game. And then a much harsher malice for a 1.5 years time, where if I don't just win everything, I get absolutely wrecked with weekly war support, stability, and manpower losses. That's pretty bad. I've also got 1 whole army's worth of divisions in the 2 bits of Africa that I own, kind of on the borders. My goal is to sort of push out, take ports, and kind of form a natural barrier. Hopefully we don't get too crushed. I wasn't able to find any evidence for specific German African divisions that were different from the regular divisions, so these are just normal divisions, meaning that there's a ton of artillery just sitting in the deserts and jungles of Africa. Oh wow, this is why I kept some units in reserve. The precise borders and tiles along the French-German border are super weird. Some of them are really tiny, and I did not realize that. So a lot of my forces are getting stretched really thin because they're having to cover a bunch of different tiles. But that's fine, we'll just kind of shrink the offensive line on the southern front and make it more on the northern front so they can push into the exposed territory. Oh, this is weird. Sweden is saying, hey, let's be buds if you give me Finland. I don't recall Sweden being part of World War I. I guess I should say no. No, wait, looking at Sweden's focus tree, they have a whole section of on second thoughts and completely going back on what they promised. So I think this is what happened historically. I go, yes, please. And then Sweden goes, nah. We're starting to break through, but I'm already experiencing a bit of thinning on the line. So I'm just going to start yeeting out every unit that I have recruited, even if they're not ready, and just putting bodies on the line while I smuggle like 40 divisions into this exposed section of northern France. All right, this is perfect. Brussels is taken, so Belgium is gone. We are already at pretty much the exact point that the line sort of ended up at by the end of 1914, but I'm going to get a little closer to Paris if I can. Things are going well on the naval front too. We've sunk a bunch of British cruisers and stuff. This is brilliant. It does help that we have 34 battleships, which is crazy. All right, the pushes are coming to fruition. I am just throwing men at the line, but we are about to hit the French coastline. The Lille push is over, and the French are reacting and putting units on the line, which is a little scary. I really don't want them to get dug in. The African front is not going so well. I have overextended a bit, and I got starting to get encircled. What's going... Oh, I did not know I owned bits of South Africa. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna lose that. Okay, it's only August, and I think we might actually be at our stop point. I cannot get past this bit. It's either behind a river, it's forested, or heavily fortified. I'm stuck. I just cannot get past Fortress Verdun. Oh god, I actually forgot that Japan joins against me. I thought they joined much later. Well, there goes those tiny islands that I had in the Pacific. At least to counter that, Serbia has been defeated, so maybe Austria-Hungary can actually defend their borders a bit better. God, looking at this western front line, it is eerily close to the actual historical line. In real life, after the big 7 battles trying to get to Paris and then the loss of the Battle of the Marne, Germany sort of retreated back towards the Belgians and then had to do a big race to the sea, a series of battles trying to get to the coastline to avoid being outflanked. But they ended up like pretty close to where I am. I'm a bit further into France than history, but this line is pretty close to just before the Battle of the Marne, so damn. Go me, I wasn't even trying to be super historical in my lines. Yeah, there it is. Officially, the Schlieffen plan has failed. Alright, maybe we should think about moving to the east instead. Like, maybe we should try out pushing into Russia. Ooh, the Ottomans have just joined. Ah, perfect. Yes, come on in. That'll distract the Russians. Oh my god, maybe not. The Ottomans have 5 military factories and only 69. I can see that we're going to have to be the main force in this conflict. Well, best way to do that is to go through our doctrines. We have bite and hold or defense in depth. It's kind of cool. You get a lot of soft attack and defense with defense in depth. Bite and hold looks cool too, but the problem is you get ore gloss when below 25%. Oh, that's terrible. I'm going to be in that constantly. That just wrecks my divisions. No, thank you. I'll take defense in depth. Let's start using that defense in depth to just hold the Western Front. We're going to reallocate our armies and move some guys to the Eastern Front so they can actually do targeted pushes. And the defensive armies will take over across the whole front line and will reinforce them with some crappy Landstrom divisions. Everyone here, just sit quietly and don't give up an inch of territory while we try to push Russia out of the war. Wow, this is sounding so familiar. While we belatedly slap into one forest tile on the French line just to sort of test a little bit of offensive power, we have unlocked the first fighter. A little bit ahead of time, the Fokker plane. Unfortunately, this does not come with presets because it can't actually be changed. This mod does not have the plane designer. I can only do the old variant system, but hey, it's pretty cool. It's the historical plane. We're going to build a lot of these. It is now January 1915, so we need to do the worst thing in this video, and maybe the worst thing Germany ever did. Prior to the 1920s, I mean. Here is the infantry division that we've been so lovingly using. It's very pretty, isn't it? I like the organization. But Germany had a problem in 1915. They just didn't have enough divisions on the line. And they also wanted more artillery. So sounds like they should just add more artillery and recruit more, right? No, of course not. Instead, what they did is they stripped a whole regiment from the division. That's right, they removed around 25% of all the manpower in a division, allowing them to raise more divisions. Genius, right? Just genius. This does effectively increase the total weight of artillery on the front lines, because more divisions with more relative artillery means more artillery. But this means my divisions get massively weaker on defense and massively weaker in organization. I hate this change, and I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it, alright? Don't ever say I'm not committed to this historical thing. Still not going to add any howitzers just yet, because I have evidence that there were at least 24 howitzers in the 1916 German infantry division, so I'll wait until then. Made my divisions weaker, but hey, we now have 39,000 infantry equipment sitting in stockpiles, so time to start cranking out tons of divisions and putting more factories onto artillery. Time to start actually using these new and improved infantry divisions, start reallocating forces on the Eastern Front to make, like, more targeted pushes. I think I have to throw, like, 20 divisions at one tile to do anything. Oh, hey, the Austrians have actually sent some divisions over to Africa to help me out. How did they get here? Huh. I guess I should also be building some land forts along the French line, which basically are like trenches, right? Just to increase entrenchment and allow me to hold while I focus on the Eastern Front. We also have the very first Cass. Oh, baby. Once again, we don't get any presets. It just has some variants for buffing, but hey, I need to build a ton of these because we need to do some damage. Having literally 0 rubber is a huge impediment to building planes, though, because every time I try to import some, the British Navy just sinks them. I do not have enough torpedo boat destroyers to protect the entire world for my convoys. Oh, and here it is, the Treaty of London. This means that Italy has joined, Interestingly, the Austro-Hungarians seem to know this was going to happen, and they've kept lots of troops on the border. I suppose I could probably bring some extra troops down to help reinforce this line, but I think they're pretty much fine. Oh god, the Brits are actually invading near Istanbul. Not quite Gallipoli campaign, but damn. Luckily, I'm still recruiting tons of divisions, so I'll just yeet a few of them out to go destroy them. How did they even get there? They'd have had to have gone through the Bosphorus Strait. Is Istanbul just not protecting its borders? Actually, I'm also going to yeet out a bunch of guys to just put on the defensive line in Russia. I've got too many boys trying to do offensive pushes, but not enough actually holding. I don't want to lose territory here. Oh god. Not the tank. Please, not the tank. It's too early. I don't even know what that is. Our tanks don't even kick off until 1917. We're going to have to do what Germany historically did and invest more into anti-tank than actual tanks. Oh, look at this depression. The next bit in the doctrine tree gives some nice bonuses for defense, but the main bonus is it gives 15% breakthrough for support companies. That'd be really great. But I don't have any support companies because I have no evidence of infantry divisions in Germany actually having support companies other than the engineer or pioneer battalions. So I get basically no value out of this. Oh man, this is it. This is amazing. We have actually done a little bit of a breakthrough here, and the Russian divisions surrounding it are super weak. Can I just pour in? Oh god, there goes the hopes of Sea Lion. I just lost 7 battleships. Oh, why? I really should have been investing in dockyards more so my boys could have actually repaired. At least we won't have any manpower problems now because we've got militarization of youth, which gives us a lot of recruitable pop factor. So I shouldn't have to go above extensive conscription. And we also have some lovely strat bombers. We're going to call this the Jared Bomber after a lovely patron. And I guess we'll use this to blow up infrastructure and supply hubs and maybe civilian factories in France to try to weaken them. Not sure there's much point in trying to reach Britain. Oh, and we've had a political change. Eric Ludendorff has just taken over. I don't think that actually changes too much other than having a slightly fatter mustachioed man in charge now, but that's fine. I don't care though, because look at this. This is a beautiful breakthrough. There is just nothing stopping us now. I think my whole plan right now is just to recruit as many Landstrom divisions as we can, throw them on the Western Front, and then peel off actual good divisions and move them to the east. I completely forgot to take a look at the cavalry division template, and there is actually already one here, and it's pretty accurate. Like, it's very close, about 5,000 to 6,000 men. Not many pieces of artillery, had 12, which basically is just support artillery. However, other than the Guard cavalry division, all of the cavalry in the German army were pretty much demobilized very quickly. They were used for frontier guarding, but then after that, they were just turned into sort of mobile regular infantry. So I'll just keep this guy around because it is pretty accurate, but the rest aren't important. I mean, think about it. Would you want to be a cavalryman in World War I? Nah. Also, I totally forgot about this in 1914, but hey, woo, Christmas! It's Christmas time! Yeah, war will be over by Christmas, guys. Well, not last Christmas, but this Christmas, right? No, it's not stopping, man. It's gonna go on for a while. You know, now I've got some more experienced spare soldiers. Let's try to help out the Ottomans in Egypt. They're not really committing anything. Maybe I can just send like 5 or 6 and just push. It's all about the Eastern Front, though. Look at this. The Russians are actually collapsing. I have taken Vilna with 13 divisions, and they are not reallocating quickly enough. Can I just push? Look at that. Fall of Warsaw. I promise, guys, I will treat you good. I swear it's east. And to celebrate, since it's now January 1916, let's change up our infantry divisions. As I mentioned earlier, I do need to have some howitzers. Around this time, there were about 24 howitzers in the division. However, there were exactly still 72 pieces of total artillery. So how I'm going to make this work is I'm going to replace one of the arty with a howitzer, which has fewer guns, and then add a support artillery. This gets me back to the 72 number, and I think it's pretty historical. Let me know in the comments if you think this is bad, but I think it's right. I like this. Plus, it means more soft attack. Oh boy, these divisions are pretty good. We have just completely encircled some of the British forces around the Suez Canal, allowing me to now push in. Can we take Egypt and take Africa that way? I do need to pay attention to war support, though, because it is gradually ticking down. I think I just have to spend pretty much all of my political power to gradually increase it from combat casualties and convoy raiding. In terms of casualties, by the way, we're doing pretty good. We've lost about 500,000 total. France, however, 750,000, and Russia over 1.1 million. This is pretty good. I'm happy with this casualty ratio. Oh yeah, we are doing super well in Egypt. We're just pushing in, and we've even capitulated them. Oh wow, this is fantastic. The Western Front is still pretty static, But big problem, the French do indeed have a division mécanisée. That is a tank. That is a few tank divisions. Frightening. I need to get some anti-tank together. Speaking of tanks, the next doctrine choice is getting buffs for tanks or just more infantry. As much as I want to do loads of tanks, I don't think it's in the cards. We get them too late. Let's just buff our infantry. I haven't been paying enough attention, but I've just looked again at the Russian front. Holy crap, it is wide open. All of the plains leading into the swamps and like the central bits. Oh, that's beautiful. We can really push now. Oh, though to coincide with that, we just got the winter comes. We failed that mission. I think it's going to give us some pretty significant malices. Yeah, look at that. Food shortages. Oh, that's not good. I do not like that. That's 5.2 stability and war support I'm going to lose every year. Okay, I got to counter that. And if I fail the next one, I get an even worse malice, the turnip war. I get loads of penalties. Oh my god. Okay, nope, never mind. The turnip winter happened right now. Holy crap. I just lost 250 political power. That is my only tool for increasing war support and stability. Oh my god. I will never financially recover from this. Alright, the fall of Minsk. That's pretty good. When does Russia collapse? Is there like a Brest-Litovsk treaty that comes in the decisions, or do I just have to push in? I guess I just have to keep going. Yeah, I'm getting too tunnel visioned. I've basically lost Africa. A bunch of divisions have just been utterly encircled. Oh, I'm sorry, boys. You were just trying to protect my colonial holdings. I think it's time for a proper spring offensive on the Eastern Front. We've got one army trying to push into the southern bit there, into Lutsk. One army moving towards Smolensk through to Moscow, and another one trying to push straight up to St. Petersburg. This is a good number of divisions, and I think Russia just doesn't have the equipment to resist me. Oh Christ, another naval invasion by Turkey. This is why I always have reserve units. When we just got anti-tank, so I think I should probably start building this, because I think if the Allies get too many tanks, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, it's beautiful. I never would have expected it. An actual encirclement on the Eastern Front. That is several Russian divisions just deleted. Alright, I know I've messed up. Austria is offering to send me guns. I have such a deficit that lame old Austria-Hungary is sending extra guns to me. Why do they even have extras? Recruit more divisions, please. Oh, baby, we killed Kitchener. That's right, PAL Battalion creator of BTFO'd. If you're not aware, this actually happened. Kitchener took a boat to Russia and seemingly got sunk by a U-boat, and he died. It is considered a bit of a conspiracy theory or like a time travel theory. Like, did someone go back and kill him or something? But hey, I don't care. He's gone. Clearly, the British have not taken this news very well because they've collapsed in Africa. They've got a little strip going up the Nile, and they have stopped me just south of Egypt, like going into Sudan. But that's pretty good. I completely kicked them out of there. Oh, the July Revolution. Oh, this is amazing. Has this happened because we pushed so deeply? Yes. Does this mean they're going to capitulate? There's no decision. Nothing's really popping up. Oh man, please, if they just drop out, that'd be great. Oh, Lenin has left Switzerland. We've given him passage into Russia. No worries, buddy. Go on in. Cause mayhem. Oh, events. Oh, Romania has joined the Entente. Okay, bro, what are you doing? Romania has just joined the Entente, and they are completely surrounded. I'm going to destroy you. I even have divisions right there that I can just throw on the border. Oh, that was a terrible mistake, Romania. Why? There is also the Arab revolt that's affecting the Ottomans, but that's okay. Again, I have some extra divisions in Egypt. I can just send them over. I'm afraid I don't think Lawrence of Arabia is going to be doing very much here. Okay, yeah. Look at the Russian equipment. All of their divisions are just empty. I think I've just been destroying so much. I think we have to kind of change up the lines here. Let's just push for VPs, take Moscow and push towards St. Petersburg. Like, nothing else, just VPs. God, look at that. With Romania dead so quick, we can just push into the exposed southern front as well. Russia's going to get so overextended. I also forgot to start assigning the light bombers and fighters, but I actually can't get the range. There's no, like, air bases nearby that let me actually get to the front lines. This is painful. I can only barely get planes there. Oh my god, did we do it? We took Moscow. Yes, look at that. Bye-bye, Russia. Get out. All right, they're not actually done yet, so we do have to push a little bit further, but come on, we're so close. I've just realized why I'm not having trouble on the Western Front. There are no Brits here. It's just French divisions. There's no Brits on the French front, on the Italian front, on the Greek front. I think that Britain put their entire army in Africa. What? Oh man, I wonder how strong I'm going to be when I finally play Britain in this. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see that next. Oh, I've been pushing a bit more and my entire game is frozen. Yes, Russia has capitulated. That is pretty good. Almost a year early. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's the automatic treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Whoa, look at all the little countries that have popped out. The Kingdom of Poland. Yes, my boys. Poland is back. Oh, I can actually play as them. Oh, okay, that is a cool game. Play as Poland and try to fight back against myself. I'm obviously not going to do that now, but let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that as a future video. That could be really cool. I'll take a save. That could be awesome. Now we can just reallocate all of our forces over. All right, let's just get as many armies over as possible to the French border. I think we need to start upping up infrastructure because I think there's going to be a lot of supply issues very soon. Apparently, Romania has surrendered. Yeah, I know. I defeated them myself. But all right, I'll just do this option. I think it's the historical one. It just sort of releases them again. Whatever. All right, I've got the Eastern Front boys over onto the Western Front. We're just going to sort of wait out the winter a bit to make sure we don't suffer too many supply issues. But the most important thing is we now have the heavy tank researched. So I can finally make a preset. Here is the A7V. It has a fixed superstructure and a close support gun, which is a bit weird because it actually used the 5.7 centimeter Maxim Nordenfelt fortress gun as its cannon, and it also had a bunch of machine guns, and they're just not present on this vehicle, even though you can see them in the model. It also definitely did use flags, so I'm going to add flags and also 2 additional machine guns because the description for that says set of machine guns. So I think that's probably adding 4, and I think it's implied that there is at least 2 in its base. So I think that is probably a more historical A7V. And this is the only tank we're going to make because this is the only tank that Germany made. There was honestly more captured French and British tanks in the German army than there were A7Vs. So I'm barely going to get to use these, but hey, it's still cool. Okay, I know I said I was going to wait for the winter, but I got a bit excited and I started doing some pushes, and look, our first actual breakthrough of a full army, and the French are completely bogged down. I think we got to hit the Ludendorff offensive. I think it's time. This gives us massive bonuses to breakthrough and our division speed, but it does lower our org, and huge bonuses against French troops, 25%. But if we don't destroy them in 4 months, we lose 50 stability and 70 war support. It basically destroys our country. Oh, guts or glory. Let's do it. One last shot that risking life of the Empire. Okay. I'm even going to send the defensive boys on a general push as well. Let's just go. We're doing targeted offensives, and we have a huge breakthrough. Oh, I am pulling in. If I can get to Paris, that's it. Like, all I have to do is take Paris. This was such a surprise. I've made it to the Marne. I think Paris is about to fall. I was expecting so much worse. But there it is. A victory for the Vaterland. Fall of Paris. Oh my god. There it is. They've asked for an armistice. I am happy to do that. The other option is that we don't do armistice and we get rid of all scripted peace deals and we have to, like, completely defeat them. I have to go invade Britain. I'm not doing that. They sunk my entire navy. So let's just let the Entente surrender and see what we get. Nothing is really happening. I don't quite understand. I'm just... Oh, okay. Frankfurt armistice. Okay, this has to finish first. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, and there's the February Revolution. Sorry, Russia. I kind of messed you up. There it is. The Treaty of Berlin. I got a big freeze. Okay, so what's changed here? I've taken a bit of Belgium and made Belgium my puppet. Oh, I've taken a big chunk of Africa. That's nice. Okay, that's cool. And I can now unlock the Kaiserreich focus on the bottom left of my tree. This is like for the interbellum period. And this would basically just, you know, make Kaiserreich. Because that's what I've done. I've made Kaiserreich. God, look at the Central Powers now. That's pretty good. And there's the territorial reparations. We're going to take all east side of the Maas and just have that for ourselves. There's actually remarkably little border changes here. And apparently there's a farm crisis. I think my country's going to start to suffer in a little while. But that's not for me. My goal was to win the Great War, and I have. This has been a real experience. As the German Empire, I have used only historical divisions and beaten back the Entente. And I didn't even have to fight the Americans because I did it quick enough. Thank you so very much for watching. Do let me know what you think of this idea of a World War I reboot. As I said earlier, I will still be doing the regular vanilla HOI series with historical divisions. I have lots of other interesting countries coming up soon, but I'd love to be able to branch out a little bit more into mods like this. So please do let me know. And of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I was Aldrahill and I'll continue to be. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.